concerns over tensions in the Middle East, and also with the news that we've got a whole bunch of draws in terms of the stockpiles in the U.S. And so that's a signal that consumption is doing well, that demand is doing pretty well, although there are some hints that maybe it's not quite as good as we think, mostly because refineries are not running at full speed. There really isn't an indication that they need to, and so we're just kind of drawing more on our stockpiles. And then you've got economic data. Recently, it seems that traders have taken the recent unemployment data as very heartening in terms of the economy, though personally, I would caution against reading too much into any kind of unemployment data.
So what's really driving the show here today for global crude, Ellen? Is it demand concerns? Is it supply? What's really moving these markets here today?
That's a good question. I think it's both. I think it's really concerns in the Middle East right now because you've definitely got demand is always an issue. Although you'd think that if OPEC is trimming its demand forecast for the rest of the year, that would spell problems for oil. Although it could be that people think that because OPEC is trimming its demand forecast, that the OPEC countries will then decide not to increase production ever so slightly in October, which will then help keep oil prices up. So that's definitely a possibility. And I do think that that's really a big move to keep an eye out for is what is OPEC going to do? Because they are set to increase supply, not by all that much, but definitely increase supply starting in October. But if the economic signs aren't there that the market can handle an increase, then they will be facing a lot of pressure to roll that back.
So who has power now? OPEC, OPEC Plus, the United States with the huge oil success we've had, or the market?
I think it's definitely the market in this case. I think the market is really running the show here, and OPEC is just kind of tweaking here or there. And in terms of the United States, it's kind of ignoring the market in a sense. Oil production is high, oil production is strong, but that has a lot to do with exports. The fact that Europe is basically sanctioning all of Russian oil has definitely been a boon for the U.S. export market because they are available. We've got oil, we can export it. And in addition, there's no impediment really other than, anything happening in the Gulf of Mexico, potentially any kind of hurricanes, to getting that oil to Europe the same way there is in the Middle East when you've got to use the Suez Canal, or you've got to get through the Persian Gulf. Those are real hotspots right now. And we don't really see that in terms of U.S. exports.